No, not in Orono, but the Orono Baseball Association plays at all these.
The problem with the baseball association is we can't use all of those fields for all the different levels. So
Right.
like the 10 and 12-year-olds can't play on a field this size, they need a lot larger field.
Right.
So like these are really two of the only fields you can use for T-ball without taking away fields from
Yeah, I think T-ball should stay here. It's a nice, low, lowly intrusive. Do you live here?
I do, right up the street.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm also on the baseball board, so I can speak a little bit to that if you guys question our field use. Discovery Center's out, we can't use that anymore. Soccer's got that.
Oh, really? Oh, but they do use it when it's not soccer.
We used to. They raised the rates, like it costs us about $20,000 a year now to use their fields at Discovery Center, so without basically doubling all of the initiation fees for all the kids, we can't use their fields anymore. So it's kind of become cost prohibitive to use the Discovery Center for us.
There's no room up at the school for any more fields, huh? There's this field.
This, yeah, and so Brian, I've had a couple good meetings with
and Lee, who belongs to the
school.
baseball.
No,
Charlie's
trying to. They're doing a lot of pickleball programming, and
I can speak to it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm Brian, feels like the place to do it.
Yeah,
But they're out doing a big facility study assessment.
Oh yeah, that guy.
So that's going to be a while, but this is a really good opportunity.
For T-ball specifically, I mean, the other, usually anybody can do T-ball would try to use the other field as much as possible.
Yeah. Well, and then half the spring it's underwater too, right?
That's the other issue. The last 2 years
This is such a beautiful.
3 or 4 years ago,
That's great.
that one was on the other field season.
Yep. So sports brings in so much more traffic. I have a phone store. It's just, it's again.
T-ball
it's
field,
just these-
not
Well, it's hard to take things away.
Oh, let's talk about the plan next year.
They want
T-ball,
Which I don't know
all
what
the
ages
associations
is
need more, more.
usually it's 5,
So what-
6-year-olds, 4, 5, and
What's the
6.
resolution to that? I look
6
at
and
the
7
schedule,
can
and
play
it seems like,
here, a little bit of stuff for
could be
those.
full.
So in theory, 4 through 7.
starting school next month.
And who are they?
What could be full?
I'm not
The
sure.
baseball fields.
Well, there's because this park uses baseball, softball, lacrosse, soccer, and flag football.
All in that one field.
All in these two fields.
Okay. Oh, they
This
currently
area.
do.
Yeah. So it's different seasons is overlapping, and then
Okay.
yeah. So
I
those
don't
are
know what
the
that is.
five
That would be-
associations we talked about.
That would be a good thing to like list all the parks and who plays there and what happens.
Well, we really only have this here, you know,
So
as far as the city's
who owns
concerned,
Circuit Scout?
the school.
Well, so that's gonna sound
But
like
I
it's
will
gonna be
say
a
this, Beaterwood is not booked. If you look at the schedule on the thing, there's nobody playing over there right now.
Oh, there isn't?
Baseball's out of season.
But, I mean, even early in the year, there were only occasional games there.
Well, that would be good. There must be a way to, there's a calendar on the Orono baseball
And one
thing.
thing we're talking about, which I think is I like this idea, is having the school manage the schedule for all these activities. Because I know Orono does their own scheduling for Beaterwood and here, and the school does all the association scheduling, so it's hard to know. There isn't one person overlooking all the assets in the area and making sure all
I'm
the.
not sure that's true because they were on the Orono baseball
Yeah,
website.
to book these two fees and Beaterwood, you have to go to the city.
This is what they have currently.
Yeah, it's on the city website.
Okay.
There's not
And you can look it up.
It's on the baseball association website too.
Beaterwood is?
Yeah,
Well,
Peterwood.
maybe that's why it's
And
not
Hackberry.
updated on, because it is on the city site too. But there's nothing on the schedule at all, nothing.
Softball, these are all filled. Both sides of the
Associations we can't get very soccer, kind of take on associations.
Yeah, and then there, once someone feels like they're in the city, and then you go to the school.
We're going to get more people into it. here's what we need for these different things. And have sort of essential management system optimizes the usage of that. Be a little more.
We have to solve something here.
Where? Say it again.
Parking right here. I live right there.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
lived there for 25 years.
Yep.
The parking has always been, I've been on the fire department for 13 years. We can't get a utility engine down here if you guys have a medical. Even if we're out here, we can't, because we can't block Willow.
So what do you think of that?
Not bad. I know.
Okay.
To gain 50 more spots for $2 million, whatever you guys are going to do, that makes absolutely no sense.
Okay.
None at all.
Well, we thought it was weird they would put it right in the middle, and then these people are going to have constant
I'm okay with the
traffic.
traffic. I really am, but this is not a solution. It really isn't.
Well,
Because, you know, we're going to get more people. These are here. Even if we do single lane parking, which I've said for 20 plus years because I live there, they've never done any of this. But like I said, it's as tight, if not tighter, when everybody parks there, if they're not on my lawn or his lawn.
right.
And we can't get any rescue
Well,
vehicles.
maybe they're over developing this to be too many activities.
I originally thought they were going
That's
to
what I
put another
think.
ball field over there.
Yeah. Well, they're applying for grants in the next 2 weeks, so you guys need to get on it.
I mean, this
I live over by Beaterwood, which we have our own problems with them, but
oh, you live up there.
yeah, it's a nightmare over there.
I just think these two solutions are
Well, then, I agree. So, I mean, they're going to go with one of these in the next 2 weeks if you guys don't start writing letters. And, oh yeah, well, they're going to apply for grants, and if they get money, then it's a done deal.
we have to stop that. That's
Yeah.
why the only other tried to stop it.
Yeah.
Just that, to me, I don't mean to be a butthead about
No.
it, but I've lived here so long in the community and I
I
love
mean,
everybody.
personally, I've shown some of these plans to actually people who actually work in park planning,
It doesn't make any
and
sense.
they try. Orono's always trying to overbuild. It's like what?
Because they have a huge budget because we all
No.
pay for our taxes.
Right,
It's
right.
wasted money.
Well, but they won't spend it on maintenance.
We can come up with something
Yeah.
if you want.
I agree, 100%. Yep, they won't take care of our roads, but they'll charge us more money
Yep.
to do this.
But then now they're going to go get 500 grand
No,
from the
it's
DNR.
not
They've got
this
2
or
grants they're
that.
applying for
It's,
with the
you
DNR.
know,
and the
if we look at
Hackberry
this
County.
and we say this is ridiculous and the baseball field be or T-ball field be oriented this way, let's talk about it. You know, the parking lot, let's talk about it. The multi-use field, listen, and that's it. So if someone has a better idea on what this is, that's fine. We left the basketball court, the playground. If you wanted an addition to
Oh,
the
that's
playground,
that one.
That makes no sense.
That is
We came out
that.
the dumbest design I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It is.
Noted.
Really, it really is. I'm telling you. That,
And I think he's on
take
the
our
fire
money and piss pound it
department.
away on doing something like that. It's aggravating. You're destroying
Hey,
the
let's get
green.
everybody together because we're all saying the same
They're
thing.
destroying the green
And-
property for nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's 100 cars
Get
plus here. I've
Jim
lived here
over here.
25 years. There's 100 cars plus. And I'm on the fire
Brian,
department.
you
You can't
come
get in or
over
out.
here and let's
So
have
to
the
do
discussion
keep
once.
these, not solve anything all the way around here, does not make any sense, and spend the money on everything. Putting this in here makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
We
So do
don't
you think the
want
parking's
it.
better where it is right now?
Yeah.
It's fine there.
Okay.
Just keep people slowing down on the
Yeah, I
roads
would
here
say
because
slow
no matter if you're old or young, they blast down here at 100 miles an hour all the time. That is the main
And
concern.
they blast through
And
our
they blast through
neighborhood
us all the
too.
time. So adding this here is going to create traffic for all these poor people over here and me and everybody else here. This is just not a good solution. I don't think it is.
It isn't what Orono needs. They need little kids. And that serves little kids. This does not.
We're taking
serve
away
kids or
Greenfield
families.
away from here to put in a parking lot of 50 spots. There's not even enough here already. So how are you going to gain anything when we're getting more people in this
But
road?
that, if they marked them, they would get more spots down there.
You're right, they would.
Because you saw them last night for football. Some were parallel parks and some were nosed in.
And then they double all the way down like you guys are here. We can't get a utility vehicle down here for one. I'm on the fire department. I've been saying this for 20 plus years. We can't get a utility vehicle down here for anybody that's here, including the residents that live here. Sure. That's a concern to me, number one. I mean, that is my number one concern, and I've been saying that for 20 plus years on the council, and they don't do anything. And we're growing more people in the community. So this is not a good idea.
I spoke Monday night at the council meeting about this, and I live across from a situation where there's a park and the traffic comes out. You don't want that.
No, and why are we taking away green space
Right.
to put in pavement? I don't get it. This is a park. We want more kids and communities here.
What if the parking area came in a little bit and then you just had 2 ball fields and you didn't have to cram another
As
great
long
big
as
field?
T-ball can be there and the football can be in the middle.
And the what can be in the middle?
Football's
Flag
there on
football?
Tuesdays
Oh,
and
yeah.
Football,
Thursdays.
lacrosse, yeah, there's.
Because
But
there,
it's like you carpeted your living room for 20 years. You had traffic, never vacuumed it, and now you say we got to destroy it and do something new. Well, you've never maintained the field other than to mow it and do weeds. And with traffic, it gets used, it gets cut out.
I know there's some concern with the kids at the end of the street too, because they rollerblade and they're, they play, and with more traffic, there's a concern with that.
There's gonna be more traffic.
And they go fast.
Yes, they do. They really rip through here and everywhere. But yeah, that taking away green space for parking, it's not money well spent. We'll just say that.
Well, yeah, but then they're also putting the water down there to attract kids.
No.
Well, that's a drainage to collect water.
That was to solve
can be
the
fenced
storm
off.
sewer issue, yeah.
It will be wet again someday.
Not if you put proper drainage in there with tile, and why destroy the tile here unless it needs to be fixed?
It does need to be fixed.
Well, fix it.
We need somewhere to
Not
drain
this
to.
way.
Needs to be replaced if you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I mean, which is simply done, and it's not expensive. You get some ag guy that puts some grain jelly coming here and put in 1,000, 2,000 feet of tile in the road, so.
Is there anyone here in favor of a parking lot in the middle of the park?
Just those guys.
Yeah,
Oh, we
that's
can-
just, 90% of the time the park is this populated. It's like, whatever, Tuesday night, Thursday night, yes, there's a lot of cars and so it'd be great. But like, literally, this is the park. It's quiet.
How big of an issue is parking though? I feel the last 2 listening sessions, it did sound like parking and drainage were kind of the 2
When they're
big
on
problems.
both sides of the street, and like Dave said,
So then how do we fix that?
Put a no parking.
Well, we put green car parking in.
Depends what
Thank
plan
you.
you use.
Saying
Your
it for
plan
20
with
plus
50 cars is gonna create, I mean, it won't solve that many, because when you get a 100 car event,
Easy.
I mean, it's,
Easy.
you know, they get, the alternate plan, which doesn't involve going out for a grant, buying and selling the solar to somebody, it includes a 50 car parking lot on Willow. And this shows a 20 car green parking, you know, and I mean, that's just drawing off the map and guessing. If you actually get out there and did some surveying, maybe it could be 30 cars more. And then on this portion of Hackberry, on this park side, it's the same thing as a green parking lot for 8 feet. So where those cars are parked, they're going to actually park inside. They'll be parking on the grass. And so when the car's parked on the other side, you know, it'd be like cars just parking on one side. And in Maple Street, you post the residential side, no parking.
You know, one simple solution is bring the picnic area here. Look at the shade you've got. Take this court and put it where Gleason's house was, along with the area for bocce ball, and put green parking by the basketball court, and here in front of the picnic table. And then we're putting a green parking lot where the skating rink is.
What do you guys mean by green parking? I apologize. I'm not.
Green parking is you prepare the base, you know, not like you would blacktop. You prepare it so that it absorbs the water and water passes through it. Then you put on a geogrid, you know, plastic structure. Grass pave is one of them. I mean, they're on the internet.
It's like plastic cells.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you put the black dirt, and then you put grass on. And it's a whole season grass parking. There's 2 problems with it. One, you can't plow it. You can plow, but if you get too close, you're going to tear it up. And the other thing is you can't stripe it. But I mean, those are simply solved, those issues.
I just want to point out that I know that this is the issue here, but we are utilizing green parking on this design right here, and over on Elm here. And there's no parking along Hackberry Hill according to this concept.
They're gonna park here for
Yeah,
the
'cause they-
playground.
I'm telling you,
You're
there are
not
cars
gonna
jamming
stop
here. You
it.
come here
They park next to
Tuesday,
it.
Wednesday, Thursday.
And then we tell
Yeah.
them. And then we tell them. I mean, if they're in a no parking,
I don't want to do that to
Spot?
the community,
No,
man. That's crap.
no.
That's honestly garbage. We're not trying to solve by pissing people off.
You know, you
I'm
build a
trying-
park.
trying to get.
You build a park, you gotta accommodate the people that come.
That's what we're
You know,
getting
there's-
at. I don't mean to be an a-hole, but he's right. We are trying to accommodate our community. I volunteer in the fire department because this is our community. And these two plans are tearing our community apart.
This one isn't.
No, that one is more acceptable
This
than that one, but
is
the parking
tearing
lot,
it apart.
So the parking's worked fine down there, but the speed limit is like, you just
Way
worry
too
about
fast.
the people backing up, the kids that are running to the next car that's behind it. So I think it's
And
like,
they're not parked uniformly
So-
spaced.
Just so everyone knows for the speed limit, so our city administrator did a speed study with that,
yeah.
and one of the recommendations that came back from, was it the county? That the speed limit should increase through here.
what?
No, we're
No
not
way.
doing that.
No,
Wow.
And you know
yeah.
how they do it? You know how they do a speed study?
I tell you what,
They
they
sit
already
up there
drive
with
like
an
crazy.
inconspicuous car, and they run the radar,
Wow.
and they keep track of the speed of the radar. So that means
Yeah.
the average
Right there
traffic's
too
going more than 40 miles an hour. And yet you see the police department over in County Road 6, you know, nailing people that are coming from Maple Plain and going around that corner and stuff. But I mean, and so, you know.
I'm not in the police department,
No, I know,
and,
I know.
and the city is not in favor of increasing the speed, not at all. But I'm just telling you right now that that has been looked into, and we don't want that either. But as far as decreasing the speed, I don't think that's a
But if you
reality.
made that legitimate parking space, then I think they'd say, well, if this is like a parking area, then we can't have a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit.
I
right
can look
there.
into it for sure. I don't know if that's the case by adding a parking lot right on the road, if that would decrease it.
Marilyn, didn't you say Corey said that they've never had issues? Or
Right.
was that you that
I said that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey said that. But,
That
you know,
they've never
and,
had any issues with anybody.
Sure. Are you all aware of any times where a multi-use field or like the football utilization is at the same time as baseball or softball uses these fields, where there's a conflict of usage?
There has not
No,
been.
never.
No, I haven't seen
There-
it.
So-
I've seen football, I've seen lacrosse, played
but
different.
usually at different
so
times.
yeah, no,
So-
the same
Different
time.
seasons.
Right.
But
so,
it's just that that's
so-
not maintained.
right. So in theory, if they're not being utilized as the same, taking the outfields from the ball fields to use as the multi-use field. I know it's nice to have them separated, but in theory, being able to use the middle section for the multi-use, it's probably not as wide as maybe they would prefer for a large multi-use field. But going this way versus regrading the whole property, I think generally, if there's not a conflict there, that would be a better utilization. And then whether you put parking or something else up top here, I think probably makes more utilization sense.
I didn't hear quite what you said, but there's soccer field that is 300 by 180. There's 320 feet between the two ag line, and the distance is 245 feet between from Willow up to the base of the slide. So there's plenty of room to
Utilize that middle space then for
Right.
the multi-use would fit sideways. Obviously, the drainage still has to get resolved for that to work.
But again, if the little kids are using it and it gets roughed up from use and you don't do anything except mow it, I can see why they don't want to use it.
Sure. The T-ball usage, the outfield is rarely used for the T-ball. It's mostly just the infields, and a few times it's the outfield, whether that's striped off, whatever. That doesn't affect the baseball and softball usage primarily for those fields, having stuff in between there. Even with nets and large soccer goals or something set up, that wouldn't really affect the baseball usage.
As far as usage goes, I just wanted to throw this out there, that just a really community thing that we don't have anywhere in the area is a volleyball court, which is a real family for any ages literally have to go to Parker's Lake in Plymouth. St. George has one, but you have to step on all the broken limbs and
Yeah, but if they put
the nets.
an area next, if they run this north and south and have a flat area next to it.
Yeah.
You could easily play volleyball there.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just something that we don't have anywhere in the community that any ages can all, groups can play, and even if kids are at the baseball games, or it's really easy to get a group of people together to do that. I just want to put my 2 cents in on that. So,
It's on the top of
yeah.
my list right here.
So it's just a really,
Is that sand or?
it's just sunny. I'm not picky. I'm not
Sure, I was-
picky. Yeah.
We're talking about any,
Yeah.
we don't have any ADA accessible parks here either, you know? We're always talking in the parks in Orono about, you know, able-bodied people, and we need to accommodate, you know, people with disabilities too. What that looks like or what that involves, I don't really know, but it could be a sensory garden, or there could be paths where they could get around, or whatnot. You know, the other thing is Clapbridge. Have you guys looked at their new plan that they're building up there? It's kids park, and it's, I know you have nice, calm-looking playground equipment. It's not red, blue, and yellow, but they're doing a log, rock, all natural. It's going to be awesome, and that's what other communities are turning towards instead of, you know, I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money, do something that's going to hold for the future. You know, this climate change thing, a lot of this stuff may not still be here. The trees, and they're losing their leaves early, and you got to think about the flora and fauna that we're going to be living with in the next 25 years.
Well,
So-
they want to stay in 1975 with it. They're staying in 1975 with this plan.
Yeah, I don't like that plan at all, but that's just, I'm not afraid to say that.
No.
I think anytime we're putting hard cover on green areas with all of this development in the surrounding communities and our own, we're just losing. Once it's gone, it's gone forever.
When you have kids walking across the parking lot between things, and you know what I mean. It's
What
nice
if
if
they
you.
moved the parking lot in down there so there was a little more wiggle room? Is that a possibility?
That's kind of what they're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, look at all the dead trees down there.
Yep.
Are those all ashes,
So anybody insinuate Orono doesn't take care of this park? I mean,
Oh my God.
It needs work.
Well,
But you
that's
know
left
what?
over from
That's
the
why they're
fire. They came and cut some of those dead branches that came down after they trimmed here.
Gather feedback, go back to the drawing board, come up with some other ideas.
So my question is this. You guys were so gung-ho to pass and approve this plan Monday night. The reason was so some idiot could get a grant for this, which we don't want. What happens now?
Now we keep working. First of all, I wasn't there Monday night. I'm not
Oh,
on
it's
this.
on tape.
It's on city. I'm not on city council. He's not on city council. He's on staff. We're volunteers.
We do this for fun.
I'm the idiot. We do this for fun. This is great.
Okay, you're
Yes,
the idiot.
I'm the idiot.
But what happens when they apply for this grant? Does that mean we're stuck with it?
No, it doesn't.
Well, you get the money, you're certainly not gonna put it in a savings.
If you get the grant, if you are eligible for that, you have a certain time frame to spend that in. So the stage we're at now, we probably can't even apply for it because it wouldn't be wise. Okay, so if we apply for the grant, we want to make sure that we can utilize that grant for the right
you know it's on the
things.
right away anyway.
Well, he was pushing it so hard on Monday's thing.
No, so
Like, I'm on
Mondays,
deadline. I need
Mondays,
to do this.
there is always a dedeadline to
But
projects.
there's
There
also
is.
another year. to
Correct,
apply
yeah,
for it.
so, but we have to take that first step in going to council and presenting, hey, you know, as a park commission, we wanted to start this process. We have to get city council approval in order to move forward with it. So Monday night's approval was not approval of a plan, that was approval of us starting to move forward with our listening session. We can engage with the community more in the future. There are other stakeholders for this park, not just the neighbors, but also the sports associations. Soccer, lacrosse, baseball, football, they should have a say as well. It is at Orono Park, and they should have their say too. So we're getting that feedback. We want to continue to get that feedback, and eventually we want to move into a design phase. So elements of what you see in the picture is not what is being adopted. That's not what was approved.
Let me ask you a question about the stockholders. You're saying that the soccer field in your plan is this, you know, it's a contained unit, it's a soccer field. You know, I mean, it's 300 by 180, right? So what's the difference between that and putting a 300 by 180 in the middle of a grass field?
There's
Is one a soccer field and another one not?
no, we're not saying that this field out here is vastly different from what is on there.
No, I mean, that's what, you know, because it's, so in other words, your plan has a soccer field, this plan has a soccer field. So that takes care of the soccer.
Yep.
Okay, we've been in contact with the baseball association, the T-ball people. And, you know, and it's just a little frustrating that they didn't show up, but the.
I'm here. He's right
Oh,
there.
okay.
I'm on the board.
You what?
I'm on the baseball board, so.
Okay, so then, what the ones we talked to were a little bit upset because they were gonna lose the T-ball fields.
It would be detrimental to the T-ball program to lose one of the fields here. Yeah.
But they use both of them.
Yeah, it would be a massive problem if we lost one of these fields for T-ball.
Can you
Good, thank you.
Good.
are you doing do you do the reservations? Is that someone else?
Usually Allison takes care of it, but we all are familiar with the utilization.
Okay. All right. Do you see much of a difference in how those two are split up?
We prefer this one only from the fact that when there is rain, that one's
Sure.
unusable. So if we have the option, we generally will pick that one for most of the events. The last 2 summers, we've used both almost every single
Yep.
weeknight. Monday through Thursday, we have teams playing on both fields the last 2 summers.
So
And our numbers for T-ball are at max capacity. The last 2 years, we've set record numbers for attendance and sign-ups. So we're not seeing a slowdown in the attendance either. Last year we had over 500 kids.
Is this the only park that you can play T-ball at?
The T-ballers are there's one other one up the street that we use, but primarily these 2 are the preferred option.
Where's that one specifically?
It's when you go up past.
The day in the Morningside.
What's that? In
Day
Morningside
Morningside.
would be the other one that we use
They
for
had 2
T-ball.
and they took one out. I don't know why they did.
Yeah, so here in Morningside is the only parks that we use for T-ball because we don't want to take away larger fields that the older kids use.
We have a lot more people moving into the area too, so we're going to school.
Josh, when you talk about stakeholders though, the stakeholders that exist already have a good percentage of the school parks and the other parks that have fields. So why would they be valued?
We're not saying they're valued over neighbors. We're
I'm
saying that
saying that maybe another sport is more appropriate here, like keeping T-ball here. If there's no other T-ball anywhere else, I mean, because there are a lot of ball fields around Maple Plain that the Orono Association plays at, Medina. So I mean, they shouldn't have come in and be a stakeholder with a majority opinion just because they've already got real estate in Orono Parks.
Last year, our 6 and 7-year-olds were playing at Fairview Church, which is just a grass field. There's no dirt. We put a backstop in, but it's not a field, right? And that's what our 6 and 7-year-olds are playing because we don't have enough small fields to utilize currently. So, we're kind of out of space as it is for the small kids.
Maybe the city buys some property.
Maybe they put it in the
Instead
asset
of
property.
spending money on, I mean, this park needs improvement, no doubt. But I mean, looking at the bigger picture about, we need more space, it sounds like, as opposed to cramming. I just showed Gordy that Clapperton, Wayzata is 9.5 acres. This is 3 acres, and they only have a ball field and a hockey rink / dog park. They're not trying to put everything into a little tiny space. Maybe that's where some of the money gets spent. Can you get grants for property? I mean,
some wealthy donors in Orono.
Well, there's maybe, but it boils down to, it sounds like every single time it's a space issue.
We've outgrown the park. We've outgrown the park.
Yeah.
It's just getting
So now
bigger,
maybe
like I
it's
said.
time to open up some new green
That's why I said
spaces.
we've outgrown this park for sure. And the amount of people is just going to keep going more over the years.
Yeah.
remember how dirty my windows are?
I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna throw seed and just let it blow away.
We had to wash our house down after they cut down the trees. They still had sawdust and everything, and then we had like a little windstorm and it went right on our houses.
No, I'm hoping for some cooler weather here soon, and let's hopefully get some rain. Yep, agreed.
So let's back up a second. What he said about this field down there, they don't use it because it doesn't drain, it gets wet. I mean, that's typical of this park, because it's a lack of maintenance. So, I mean, it's not like it rains 2 inches there and a quarter inch there. When it doesn't drain, that's a construction, an issue with the drainage and the, so that's what it's easy to keep finding those Josh, I don't mean, you know, you should be writing down your work list instead of ideas.
Josh, does the grant have to apply to can it apply to the work to improve a park?
Okay,
Rather
so
than rebuilding?
Hennepin County does a couple different types of grants. So they do a facilities grant, and then they do playground equipment grant. So the facilities grant, that would be for like your athletic fields. I mean, that'd be about it, right? Some of those kind of park improvements. I don't know if it would be I don't think a drainage project would fall under that.
What about
Specifically
like new
this grant.
bleachers and
Yeah,
backstops?
I think that would be the facilities, or no, that's which is much lower. That's 10,000, 15,000, I think.
Which redo that. And that gets used a lot, actually.
Well, you know, the other thing that we pointed out is when the kids are here and have to go to the bathroom, that's a long ways.
It is. Yeah.
But yet the UPS man, the garbage man, the FedEx, whatever, they use that a lot.
Yes, they do.
Was there any plans for bathrooms for this area?
Yeah. So I mean, right now it's just shown as shelter, but the idea is that we would have some toilets.
What about running water? Get one of the pumps going.
Yep, that we would have that. Yep, we would need irrigation.
Okay, yeah.
More maintenance.
A lot.
I got a
Go ahead. Well, do you have is there city water here?
No.
We have 2 wells over here.
No, one was cemented in according to the Roman.
It was capped, but we can rehabilitate.
Wasn't that Larry's capped and the other one was
Can you
full?
take the cement out of it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got a question for the park commission. This park and this plan is, you know, that plan the city's got is 5 years old, and I mean, it's been a given for 20 years that the city was gonna buy Gleason's property and change the park. How come there's no money for this? How come the city doesn't have a chunk of change set aside? You know,
We're not in charge of the money either.
so
We just give recommendations about ideas on what to do, and then the city council finds, and staff finds the money.
have you ever recommended this to city council?
It would be inappropriate for us to recommend how the city save money.
Okay,
Yeah.
good answer.
Yeah.
Don't agree with it, but I mean, that's right, you know, so.
So you guys are gonna take this away and then come up with a new plan and then bring that forward to people, or what do you think is like a good time?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've heard a lot of what you don't want,
Just go
and
with that
some of
plan.
what you do want. And so we have some notes, and Gordy took some notes too. I don't know if we have enough right now to go back and to the drawing board. So I think we might have to have another touch base with some of you guys who are interested in participating in this, just so we did 2 of these back in May, open houses, and we thought that we took what you heard and incorporated in this
but
plan.
this being 5 years old,
So-
we've listened to it.
So let's make sure that we
like, what a parking lot in the middle.
let's make sure that we you know, this is why we do the concept plan, is to get you guys to react to something specific. Okay. So in May we didn't have anything for you to react to except for a blank slate here, and so this is part of the process. So
It's
we'll
an
go
iterative
back and-
process. Like my takeaways were the drainage and parking were the big challenges. We go compile our notes, give them to this Bolton&Menk firm, then they put up a couple concepts, and we say, okay,
yeah, let's bring it back to you guys, see what you think, and then we're gonna go back again and say, okay, well, this, a lot of controversy over that, so let's figure out other ways where we can get the parking organized and fix the drainage, and, you know, T-ball, I think we do everything we can to keep 2 T-ball fields, accommodate the other associations, and
I mean, I think everyone's kind of said they like the current layout and then just improve the parking there, like along Willow, right? And then kind of
Yeah.
just improve everything, not move everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's all you need.
Because there, you know, the changes are the Gleason property. And if you're gonna make changes or do something, do it there to make
Yeah.
it beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is an iterative process, like you said. Thank you for the input tonight. We want to get more input. We'll give other opportunities to get more input. As Josh said, this is not, there are other stakeholders in here, okay? This is not, unfortunately, this is, you know, a resident, all of the Orono residents own this park and have the say in this park, okay? Including some sports associations and so forth. And so we're trying to take, you know, input from everyone, and, you know, certainly the neighbors around here have, you know, we really want to make sure that you know, you guys, we're not doing anything that interferes with your life, that interferes with how you live, go about your day, and the kids in the neighborhood as well too. So.
You know, you said this is not for the, you know, how the residents on it, but it's obvious as hell to anybody, maybe except for you three, that this group of residents here is more concerned about the use of the park for the kids, you know, the benefit for the kids. And I think the only thing the residents are worried about for themselves is to try to do something with the parking. And I think that's kind of something you should consider. I mean, it's not that we're asking to close off half the park or something like that. We want the damn park utilized, and we want, you know, we want to save the sports, and it's a good opportunity the way the field is, and it's way more beneficial than what you've got. And you have to start thinking, you know, different than just the standard, like I said, boilerplate stuff. I mean, whether it's parking or green parking or whatever. I mean, that's so anyhow.
The question I have, and it's regarding the notices of this meeting. You emailed Jennifer through me, I text people, and then yesterday something came up on Facebook.
Great.
Why aren't we getting a notice in our mailbox or on the email address so everybody knows about it, instead of, if you're not on social media, you don't know it. If I don't have your cell phone number for National Night Out, they don't know about it.
Yes, absolutely. I only had a couple emails.
I got an email from the city's like notification system.
So moving forward, meetings around this, it'll be emailed out, it'll be on the website, and there will be more than 2 days notice.
And if it's over,
I don't know if we'll do one in October. Is that what you want? What's that?
once a month? Oh my gosh.
Josh, are you saying you won't apply for the grant then at this point?
I am not saying, I don't know if we have enough to go off of to go for a grant, and I don't, again, we have to start looking at, is it even feasible for us to start a project that soon where we can utilize those grant funds? I'm not interested in doing that. Writing a grant is not fun. I want to be able to use it if we get it.
Thank you.
yeah, thank you.
I think you nailed it right there. It's not parking, and give it some quiet.
Have you guys?
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your interest and input, we appreciate it. I know it's a process that's, it can be clunky at times, but
It's gonna be a long
we're here to help the process out.
You want that plan that we brought, you can sort of take it with
But
you.
it's still, is it the baseball?
He'll probably, Josh should take it. We've got some pictures too.
Okay, cool. I'm really interested in cleaning that place up. It is.
Are you guys saying that if
And I
you
think
had an
in the past,
organized
and like a lot of other projects, you know, it's kind of, hey, city, if you help us build this, we'll maintain it, and then over time it just, you know, people leave. There's not, but one thing, so we have a well now for the soccer field,
But I
and what
mean,
we
can they
have
schedule
done
it
is
so
we
they're not
authorized
I mean, they're not
so that we
next year?
can't run a baseball
So like a project like this, I would love to get some, like, you know, I mean, drainage and irrigation is key.
And for us, the irrigation problem is why.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On corn days, they park here, go to the
So we're looking at a couple other options.
and if there's horses, the horses are over there.
Well, I'm just thinking about like regular events, you know, like the sports stuff. That if you had T-ball, you know, 5
For irrigation.
So, like these are the things that we will just understand because, like, I guess from perspective, sometimes we just look at it and say,
oh, okay.
So you know
they're not involved and they're not keeping up with this.
So you get that many cars,
You know, we're saying,
and then it's face
soccer's
They're in fun to watch it come out.
We're 100%. Without, I'm not trying to put pressure. No. We have funding and we're ready to deploy it. Sure. I also don't want to show like,
like a
special
flag,
interest groups
like
that
a
are
flag.
providing money either.
No.
So at the same time, we want to contribute and help out. And
Yeah.
we're 100% on board with that. I don't know if Charlie's, how much he's been involved, but he's reached out a ton in the last 2 years. Charlie Mann has been in contact.
That's a I know
I want to pick that up again. Even just,
He said, even going back like a couple, 2 years, I know he's been sending something on let me connect.
I can have business card.
Whoever they can get grant for,
And have an area for either volleyball or for the bocce ball next to the thing. And then had green parking there, but don't take our mailbox.
and we're again like we don't have any.
You know, that would give an expanded use.
I know
I'm here to help and I know that
And
the funding.
you're also the bocce ball.
Yeah, you know.
But it could be a,
Interesting.
you know, miscellaneous.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not what I expect. Not what I expected.
I want to keep these in Orono, these little parks.
I
should just
know.
be neighborhood. That's what they were built for.
Yep,
They're called pocket parks.
Well,
yeah.
and they help. They help with property values. The green space does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't.